You don't have to stay.
Where am I gonna go? Maybe not having Fortunato anymore. Maybe it's a good thing. For you. That place wasn't good, Grandpa.
No, it wasn't. But it was mine.
Whoa.
I say this with love. Let it go. Let it all go. I mean, you've got more money than you'll ever be able to spend. Let's put it to work. Try to fix things.
Oh, God.
Who are...
The terms were clear. And they're just... Have a seat. There's a lot about my job I love. But there are moments like these that bring me no joy. Let me tell you a story about your mother. See, she recovers very well now that she's in the clinic. She's strong. Her battle scars become armor. She inherits a sizable fortune when Fortunato collapses. She gives most of it away, domestic violence and abuse charities, but keeps enough to start a nonprofit. She sets up chapters all over the world. She calls it the Lenore Foundation. And she saves a lot of lives. Would you like to know how many? Dozens in the first year, and hundreds. And then a major burst of growth. 600,000 5 years in, and in a decade, it's millions. And then it gets hard to count, because the people she helps help others who help others. This is the part I really want you to hear. You did that. When you got her out of the house, when you defied your father, you did that. You saved those people. That choice you made echoes through millions of lives. I thought you should know that.
Wait, what are you talking about? Lenore Usher isn't dead.
She died earlier tonight.
That's not possible, Roderick. She's been texting you all night.
Madeline had this AI project. Scans your social media posts and makes a digital view. She used Lenore as a beta test. I guess the goddamn thing was activated because it's been texting me all night. Some nonsense. Once.
Fuck.
Well, I guess we finally come to it, haven't we? World without pain. That was the whole point. Wave my wand wasn't enough.
Oh, honey, don't kid a kidder. Good for you. I've worked with a lot of truly influential people over the years, but when it comes to sheer body count, you're in my top 5. Take a look. Those are your bodies. Why did you come here tonight? That's your legacy. Give yourself a minute, and then find your way home. Our business is almost done. You're going to call Auguste Dupin and ask him to meet you.
And that was tonight.
It was.
You said that's Madeline down there.
It is, at least I think it is. I called you and I came here. And...
Oh, fuck me.
Roderick? Roderick, are you here?
Down here.
So that's it, is it? Nothing more we can do.
There's nothing. And she's giving us a few minutes to talk, so... Drink?
You know what? Yes, why the fuck not? We said we'd change the world. We did, didn't we?
We did.
When'd you start bringing this stuff here? Some of this is mine, isn't it?
A few days ago. Same reason the pharaohs did. I mean, this house, this carcass of a house, this is our tomb.
Would we have done anything different if we believed that woman in the bar was real? I suppose that's the only question left.
Did you believe it? Honestly, I can't remember what I believed.
I believed in enough to get an IUD. These people, they want an entire meal for $5 in 5 minutes, and then they complain it's made of shit and plastic. The Pentagon spent $83 million on Viagra last year. Meanwhile, fucking Supreme Court does its part, rips the liberty away from women, shreds not just their choice, but their futures, cranking out what? An impoverished workforce there for the labor, and we're the problem. They fucking invented us. They beg for us, they're begging for us still. We stand tall and proud, brother. Let's not hide here in the basement. No, not us. You and me against the world. What's the matter with fucking Usher? She's gonna have to look me straight in the eyes.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Motherfuck.
You're right. You are Madeline fucking Usher.
Oh, good lord.
You are a queen. You're a goddess. And you're gonna live forever.
No.
What did you do?
I sent her off like a queen. Queen Tusret. As a matter of fact. Oh, she's getting acclimated.
She's getting acclimated.
She'll have everything she needs down there. This takes a little getting used to.
What did you do to her?
I loved her.
And after you honored her, are you sure she was dead?
You know, maybe not.
Fuck me.
Our mother was the same way. Thank you for coming tonight, Augie. I promised my confession, and here it is. I knew. Deep down, I knew I would climb to the top of the tower on a pile of corpses. And we told them it was about soothing the world's pain. You can't eliminate pain. And imagine if we put that on the bottle. I bet I still could have sold it.
Fuck me.
Nevermore.
put in for retirement, and I went home. Juno inherited everything, and she completely dissolved it. Fortunato Pharmaceuticals is shuttered, repurposed into the Phoenix Foundation, and she weaned herself off Thigodone. Pym was arrested a few weeks later after Camille's former assistants turned over a mountain of files to the police. He surrendered himself at the courtroom and didn't utter a word in his defense. He remains the only conviction from the Fortunato Pharmaceutical case. Goodbye, Roderick. I'm going home to my husband, my kids. I'm the richest man in the world.
Thy soul shall find itself alone mid dark thoughts of the gray tombstone. The night, the stars shall look not down. Light like hope to mortals whose weariness shall seem as a birth cling to thee forever. Now are thoughts thou shalt not banish. Now are visions ne'er to banish. The breeze, the breath of God is still, and the mist upon the hill, shadowy, shadowy, yet unbroken, is a symbol and a token. How it hangs upon the trees, a mystery of mysteries.
That is a lot to process. So, like, we pretty much had, like, everything, I think, answered at that point. I'm still not 100% certain what the woman is, or Verda, as I realised in the last episode, that's her name. But yeah, so they had made a deal with her, basically, to be successful, everything would go exactly the way they wanted, but their bloodline would end at a specific time. When those two died, all the kids would die. So that makes sense. And one thing I did like that kind of confirmed a few things was the fact that it was something that had to happen and she didn't necessarily enjoy it. Like, I mean, in fact, I think probably with most of the Ushers she did enjoy it because she knew what they were like. And I think that's kind of where the choice thing came in. Not that it was necessarily a choice, but it was almost like a test. She was almost looking for a reason to make their death easier somehow. Or that's kind of how it struck me. Like it felt like she was giving them a chance to kind of redeem themselves almost. You know, in each of the cases, like I said, and I won't go over each individual one now because there's like 6 of them, but like she always presented them with some sort of choice. And it might have been a very small choice, like for example with Tammy, she threw her, like her husband phoned her and she threw her phone and Verda sort of said to her, you could just pick up the phone and apologise or talk to your husband, and she just started screaming at her. And you know, it's just like they were all presented with these small chances to redeem themselves and none of them took it. And the only one that was actually innocent in all of it was Lenore, and she died easily. Like, I say easily, but it was like an instant thing. It didn't seem like it was painful. She just literally touched her on the forehead and she was dead. Whereas like Freddie, after he did what he did to his wife, she was like, well, fuck you, I'm going to make it as painful as possible. So she did. So I do like that, and I do wonder how different things would have been if the Usher family or the pharmaceutical company hadn't pushed the addictive painkillers. Like, you know, if they'd made affordable medicine, or if they'd donated to charities, or if they'd just generally been decent company and not at all shady. You know, and if the kids were more well-adjusted and normal, or as normal as you can be with that sort of money. But, like, I do wonder how different things would have been if that was the case. I feel like Verda would have been, you know, she still would have had to kill them all, or they would have all had to have died, like the deal said. But I feel like it wouldn't have been quite as traumatic for all of them. Like, it might have just been a little, like, more like Lenore's death for all of them rather than the actual horrendousness, because they were horrendous, let's face it. And even, like, from the beginning with that Griswold guy, the guy that ran the pharmaceutical company, absolute dickhead. But he didn't deserve to be bricked up alive inside a wall. Like, I get that they wanted him out of the way. They wanted control of what was essentially their dad's company. It was their birthright. I do actually agree with that. I mean, you know, they were illegitimate, but still, you know, and they were brought up poor. Their mother died in a lot of pain and with no money. So I get them wanting their share. But they didn't just kill him. They didn't just, like, not that there's any nice way of killing somebody. Being bricked up inside a wall, alive, so you basically starve to death in pitch blackness. I don't think that's up there and one of the nicest ways to go, honestly. Just could they not have come up with something a little bit nicer somehow? Like, they just kind of really got off on the wrong foot. And, you know, that's obviously the night they met Verda as well. But, like, you know, even after that rocky start, they could have maybe redeemed themselves. You know, she gave them that promise that all this was going to happen, and they still could have redeemed themselves. I mean, yes, that was a shitty thing to do to the guy. You don't break people up and put them, leave them to die. But I still feel like at that point, Verda would have been a lot more lenient with them if they hadn't just completely gone off the rails. And I actually kind of felt sorry for the Pim Reaper at the end there as well, because, like, he did a lot of shitty things, obviously. But, and I suppose he was a lawyer, so he should have known better than most, maybe. But he was not the worst. He didn't, I don't know. And that's another thing as well, just thinking sort of back to the whole consequences thing, like with Lenore, it's not only, sorry, I'm jumping around here, I just suddenly thought of this, but like with Lenore, not only did she get a nice death, but her death meant something good, or made something good happen. Like, Verda told her about the foundation that her mum would set up, and, you know, all the things that would happen and how many lives she would save and that sort of thing. And it's just like, that could have been the case for the entire Usher family. You know, okay, they all had to die at that set time, but they just could have, there could have been so much good that came out. I mean, I suppose good did come out of it in the end, because Juno got the inheritance and, you know, she did do good with it. She dissolved the company and whatever, but I don't know. I guess that's kind of not the point, really, is it? Yeah, it's just kind of interesting thinking of all the different kind of angles. But yeah, the bit at the end with Madeline, like, in the cellar, when he'd literally taken her eyes out, was just like, oh, I guess that's like the dying together thing, isn't it? They had to die together. But even so, absolutely foul. I think that wrapped up the series really well. This one is definitely, it's not my favourite Mike Flanagan show. I think The Haunting of Hill House is still going to be my number one, honestly. I'm not sure yet if I like this better than Bly. It's definitely up there. I think I probably need to do a rewatch to kind of properly judge it, because I find with these shows, you pick up a lot of stuff on a second sort of go through. But yeah, just from obviously sort of what I've seen, what I've reacted to, I would say it's probably at least even with Bly, is my thing. It's like tied second place with Bly. Midnight Mass is my least favourite of them. It was fine, but it wasn't as good as these two, is the rest, I don't think. But that's obviously my personal thing. I know there's a lot of people that actually think Midnight Mass is the better of all of the shows. But for me, that place is definitely Haunting of Hill House. Which I will say again, if you've watched The Fall of the House of Usher and really enjoyed it, and you haven't seen The Haunting of Hill House or The Haunting of Bly Manor, then you absolutely need to go and watch those two now, because they are so good. They're both on Netflix as well, I believe. So yeah. But yeah, I think I have been rambling on long enough, so I'm going to wrap this video up. If you've enjoyed this reaction, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.